Unless you are rich with people paying your way and hiring maids and cooks for you, finding time to write is like so hard. And I'm here to tell you my journey and how I'm finding time to write and what I've had to do to get there. Hi, my name's Shara Ogilvie. I'm a therapist who's also turning author, and I'm documenting my journey from unpublished author to published author with a memoir I am writing about my life's trauma and how I've healed from that. So welcome. I hope that you can get something from my channel. Today, I want to talk about the struggle that is so real about finding time to write. I probably will make more episodes on this topic in the future because it's actually a really big topic. But I'll tell you kind of what's coming to my mind, at least today, about finding time to write. And that is, all of our lives are full. We all have already more things than we can possibly fit into the day. That's just the way life is. Doesn't matter what your life circumstances are. Most of you are in that position, with rare exceptions. And I'm no exception for sure. So for probably the last 7 years, I have been, well, longer than that really, more like 8 or 9. I've been going, how can I possibly find time to write? I've got my business, I've got family obligations, you got to keep up on your health. There's church things, there's just a billion things. And it's just not there. So years ago, let's see, how long has it been now? 7 plus years ago, I rearranged things at my work so I could take some time away. And then I actually ended up leaving work for a few months so that I could write. I thought that was the only way. And writing was hard. I was writing about my trauma at the time, and I would actually get so overwhelmed that I'd have to leave and go do yard work just to clear my mind. And then I'd go back to writing. And I ended up writing something that I didn't like. It was a necessary part of my evolution, but also it taught me this false idea that you had to quit work to write. And so far in life I immediately went to work after a few months of being off, and I've been working ever since. And I have really struggled with why. I've even been angry at God. Why can't I have time to write? I'm never going to get it. Even when I retire, we want to travel and we want to do all these things. How's it ever going to happen? And I've had to do a lot of thinking around how do you build it into your life. So I'll share with you a few things that I've actually done to get myself into a place where I'm writing now. Right now, I'm in a good routine where I'm writing about an hour every morning, an hour at night, and then Saturdays I take the chunk of, the majority of that day. And then every few weeks, maybe I'll take another writing day. But I'm just building it into my life as part of a routine. So, all right, what have I done to even free up a couple of hours a day? Who has a couple of hours a day? I'm not expecting that my suggestions are going to work for everybody, but I hope that what I'm about to tell you will at least spark some ideas for you of what might work. First of all, probably 3 years ago, I really reduced my time on watching YouTube. I really backed off. And probably about 4 years ago, I got completely off of social media. So that was one step along the path going, I recognize I'm using my phone too much. How can I quit doing that? So I made those changes. Now, asterisk, I am making YouTube videos now, so that's taking up time. And I have to get myself on social media to build a platform, so that's going to take time, but at least I'm not scrolling. So that was one step. Another piece was learning how to simplify my personal routines, like going to the gym, doing the hair, prepping meals, and cleaning the house. Those are 4 things that seem to take so much time. And if you don't have high maintenance hair, then you're not going to understand, but most people have some maintenance issue with that. So I actually worked hard for a few months to figure out what is a hairstyle I can have that does not require tons of time. And that probably sounds like the craziest thing to make a big deal out of, but I cannot be a sloppy looking person. I'm not going to just wear ponytails all the time. Well, there's nothing wrong with ponytails, but it just doesn't work for me. So I had to actually work on that. I had to iterate back and forth with what's a hairstyle that's going to work for me, that will be quick, easy to maintain, and do the job, right? So that was one. Another thing was gym time. So I've experimented with just dropping exercise altogether. Well, guess what? I felt like garbage. My concentration was lower. I didn't feel good. So what I've come around to now is just specifically plugging in 3 times at the gym, and I don't go more than 3 times a week. If I am tempted to go more, I tell myself, you can't do that because you need to preserve your writing time. It's easy for me to get overly excited about that. But I have to go 3 times. Maybe 2 if things are crazy, but I have to go, because if I don't, then I lose my ability to concentrate, because I swear I concentrate better when I go to the gym. And I also lose my fitness. I get aches and pains. So the gym is really important, but I have to keep it where it belongs. Another is meal prep. Meal prep is a huge thing. You have to eat 3 meals a day. If you eat out a lot, you break your budget and you get fat and you feel like garbage. So you have to eat 3 meals a day that you make, mostly. So I've turned to, like it or not, I do a lot of meal prep. And meal prep is batch prepping. So if I make eggs for breakfast, I will make 2 batches of eggs for breakfast, and I'll parcel them into 4 containers. So there's enough for me and my husband this morning, and then the next morning or 2, whatever, right? If I make a roast, I'll use it for tonight's dinner, and then I'll use it for tacos the next day, and then sandwiches the next day. Or if I make smoothies, I will make a double batch. So I have some for tomorrow morning and this morning. If I make soup, I'll make a double or triple batch of soup. So we have it tonight, and then we have it the next couple of nights. It's all about meal prep. And so it's probably twice a week that I will actually go to the kitchen and cook. And when I do a lot. I'll do, a green salad and a batch of soup, and then some stewed meats. And another time I'll make a batch of smoothies, a batch of breakfast eggs, and, another kind of a tuna salad, and cut up some vegetables and make some hummus, something like that. So that there's food to eat and we're not dying, but I'm not always in the kitchen. That is a huge thing. Another thing would be, I know this isn't available for everyone, but to hire a housekeeper very, very minimally. And when I say minimally, I am not rich. I'm not rich, but I can afford 2 hours a week every other week. So what is that? 2 hours every other week. So that's a total of 4 hours of help per month. And I found a housekeeper that's very, very reasonable. And this is the best money I've ever spent. And I'll tell you why. This saves me more than 2 hours every couple of weeks. This saves me probably 5 hours a week, even though she only comes a couple hours every other week. The reason is I get so bugged by hair or crumbs or smudges or the thought of germs that I'm constantly, or have been in the past, wiping, sweeping, checking, grabbing, pulling out the vacuum, just because I want to stay ahead of it. And what that does is it makes me a compulsive housekeeper. Then I'm constantly cleaning. And then it's always distracting me. It's always on my mind. I'm always thinking, well, I can't write. I have to clean. So just knowing that every 2 weeks, even though it's just a couple of hours, I know the floors will get mopped, the floors will get vacuumed, the bathrooms will be reset, the kitchen will be spiffied, and things will be dusted. Every other week, it will be perfect. And so that means the rest of the time, I just ignore it. I just say, it's not a big deal. I can wait. It's only 6 more days, 5 more days, 3 more days till the housekeeper's here. That has been really, really helpful. So between all of these things, it's funny because none of them are directly related to writing, but learning how to manage, the gym and hair, personal routines, cleaning, cooking, that is where it's at for me, because I can drop so much time on all those things that there's no time left. I could easily not have any time to write. The last tip I will give you is I specifically schedule my time very tightly throughout the day. And I know in blocks what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm at work here, and then I'm meal prepping here, and then I'm doing YouTube content here, and I'm writing here, and I'm going to the gym here, and I'm connecting with my husband here, so that it just flows. And I do have most days at least an hour where we can just watch a show or go on a walk. But other than that, it's all scheduled because there just isn't time in the day to waste. So that is kind of where I'm at with that. If you relate to that, drop comments or questions, and be sure to see my playlist to catch up on more of these exciting vlog journey videos. And I'll see you next time.